Hello and welcome, guys. This is Scorpio Bros. We are two best friends who are going to be bringing you content on this channel from now on. We will be streaming too. My name's Tom, and I am joined by
Joe, who is the better half of this friendship.
Well, that's for the audience to decide, I believe.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But yeah, so we've
nice.
been best friends, brothers, you could say, from birth. I've known
From
you
another world.
17 years, maybe.
Yeah, all my life, because you just pitched me to the post when it
Yeah,
came
I'm
to.
just a tad older, just a type bit older.
Yeah,
But yeah, so this channel will be bringing you content like the one which you'll be watching today, which is Star Wars ranking, different films and TV shows. But we'll also be doing mostly video games, and we might do a few other things with Star Wars media because that's really one of the bases of our friendships. Like, I can't
yeah,
remember a time when we haven't been into Star Wars, talking about Star Wars with each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely one of our joint, like, all-time favorite just franchises in general.
By far, yeah. I mean, some of the stuff we used to do together with Star Wars, and
Yeah,
that was basically a staple of our friendship for a long time, wasn't it?
yeah. Well, anyway, getting on to the video, um, we've seen you probably can see all the different shows and TV shows and movies at the bottom of the tier list. We've seen all of them except for Star Wars Resistance, which I think is the fourth one from the beginning. Um, so we'll probably just leave that out. And also, don't get too triggered if one of your favorite, if you're a sequel fan or a prequel fan, and we go the opposite way. Because I think by the end of the video it'll be pretty clear which ones we prefer. Um, uh, so, do you want to take away with get away? Take
should we
the
start off
second?
then? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. So first of all, we have got A New Hope, which of course was the original Star Wars to start it all off.
Is that 1978 or am I waffling?
76, I believe.
Yeah, that's
You're
a long
close.
time ago. Anyway,
But
I think
yeah. What's your opinions on A New Hope?
I think this should go. I think it should go. I'm torn. I think it is definitely one of the best because obviously it was the original and it just set the tone for the rest of
Agreed.
for
Agreed.
everything we've got. So it's already got to be boosted a couple just because of that. So I think it's at least got to be in council member.
I would agree. I'd say council member is its minimum. I'm torn as to whether it's worth Grandmaster level compared to some of the other ones we've got on this list as well.
Because obviously there's it's not like the best film. Well, maybe it is, but in terms of, but like compared to now, in terms of like all the CGI and stuff like that. But it's just that it's a classic, it's an iconic film. So I think it should be Grandmaster.
You think Grandmaster?
Yeah, I think bump it up to Grandmaster.
I'm thinking council member at this time. However,
We just stick it in there.
I
The
think
council member.
no, we'll go. Okay, we'll stick it in council member for now. However, it's a we might have to come back and revise it, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go back at the end and just have a look.
Next, I think we should do Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I
Go
think
in
that.
release order. Empire Strikes Back is my favourite film of all time, hands down. I think it is
Really.
truly captures what Star Wars is meant to be, especially Hoth at the start, and then Bespin and Cloud City. I think it truly captures the essence of Star Wars, and therefore I am going to say wholeheartedly I believe it should be Grandmaster.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I just think also you get Boba Fett in it as well, who's like such a great character. Although he doesn't say a lot, but he's
Very cool character, I would agree with
yeah.
you there.
And also for me, Hoth Hoth playing. It just reminds me of just playing Battlefront for ages and ages.
Yeah, when we used to come
Um,
around to each other's house and play
yeah,
the first one, the original. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So Grandmaster. I
Grandmaster, agreed.
I may be like maybe is it the best thing they've released? Not sure. Not sure.
Is that one still up to debate with you?
Yeah, I think there's so many good ones that I wouldn't be able to pick.
There is a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
It was close.
So I think obviously the next one will go with
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on Return of the Jedi then?
Um, I do really like it. I think it's just it, it brings it all together. Just comes full circle. Especially the start of the film as well when they infiltrate. Well, I say infiltrate Jabba's palace. Gets thrown in with the Rancor.
Yeah,
Um,
a very cool scene.
yeah,
My only issue with Return of the Jedi now is I would agree it used to be up there with the other two, but I think
yeah.
since the sequels have come out, they've basically contradicted everything. Like the whole premise of Return of
But
the Jedi was, oh, balance to the Force, everything's done, sort of thing, and then
I think the sequels should be ranked separately because
because they're not Star
they
Wars films.
well they're just we've had this debate before. We just think they're like very high budget fan films. They're not.
Yeah,
We don't like. They're just Force Awakens. They could have still done something. In the Last Jedi, it just like what the hell was going on there?
yeah, they really
Um,
were quite nuts with those.
I mean, it was like yeah, it was just a bit too crazy, like just so many contradictions and stuff like that. But it just didn't really make sense a lot of the time, which I'm
Okay,
sure some people would
so
agree.
are we not blaming Return of the Jedi for the mistakes that came after, instead blaming the sequels for that one?
I blame the sequels for that. Yeah.
So whereabouts would you say on this list that you put the Return of the Jedi then?
Um, I think because it was like so emotional with like Vader, or Skywalker as he Anakin Skywalker as he became just before he died. I I I think it's got to be. I think it's higher than A New Hope,
Agreed. Agreed.
but I don't think it's quite Grandmaster.
So maybe we bump A New Hope down to Master for now? Put
No, I put Return of the Jedi in Council. I put them both in Council Member, but just Return of the Jedi is
first.
higher up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So should we say furthest left is also higher that way as
yeah,
well then? Yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That works for me.
yeah. So,
Next, if we're going release order wise, we've got Phantom Menace.
a lot of people don't like this film. Well, I say they don't like it, but the amount of memes from the prequels, just I think,
More than makes up for it.
yeah. Um,
It's a
but
very
I
it's a very divisive one, isn't it? Some people
well,
love it, some people hate it.
the fight. Well, obviously you got characters like Jar Jar Binks, which is just like why.
Pointless
Um,
and a waste of space. Agreed.
like I don't mind having it, but like to the extent that it was just like they forced it in this like comic, um, like
It's
this
just a poor
humor.
attempt at comic relief, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just didn't work with the style of the movie. It was still good, uh, but especially the fight between Maul and Kenobi, and their rivalry sort of explored in Clone Wars and Rebels as well.
That was by far
Um,
the best lightsaber fight in the movies, I think.
yeah, in the you would call it live action.
Yeah, in live action
Um,
movies, that
yeah,
was quite something.
yeah. So
Because to
mm,
me, A New Hope had so much potential, and I think due to the fact that he focused too much on certain characters, which I
what do you mean?
dislike, coughs in Jar Jar, but I think that it really wasn't what it could have been. So I'd have to say I can't put it along the same line as any of the original trilogies.
Yeah, I'd say either Master or Knight.
I'm leaning more towards Knight.
Really,
Just looking at some of the other titles we've got here.
because I think this first one, although I love like the clones and everything, the second one it just like the way they portrayed Anakin was just like, what the hell?
That is true.
Like some of um the lines like he was given, like I hate sand and stuff like that. It's just like, what the hell? So I think that has got to go in Master, and then I'd say for episode 2, or however way you want to look at it,
Stick it in Knight.
Attack of the Clones goes in Knight.
Yeah, I could
But
second that.
it's still a very good film, I have to say.
Yeah,
It's still
it builds a lot. So should we put
yeah.
both of them down there straight away then?
I'd put I keep saying I want to say Padawan. Phantom Menace in Master, and the Attack of the Clones in Knight.
Yeah, I've done the same thing. So I think Attack of the Clones, whilst it was a good film and it had some excellent scenes in it,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It didn't further the story much at all.
No, particularly between Yoda and Dooku.
Yeah, and I'm afraid until the Clone Wars came along, we didn't have any clue why this war was happening. Like, it didn't even explore the background behind it.
Because obviously this was mentioned first in A New Hope by Kenobi. We mentioned the Clone Wars, and obviously fans were like, what is this? So he kind of limited himself. Maybe not limited himself because he really knew what he was going to do, but he had to. That was what he had to do to get to the Empire or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So we'll stick those two there, and then we move on to
the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah. Or should we do it in release order?
Um,
I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, we've started doing it release order.
Yeah.
Where other ones were,
We might as well stick to it for continuity.
Okay, Revenge of the Sith. Now,
You go first on this one.
I think this is the best prequel film, and it particularly like scenes in. I just love all the like clone scenes. However, it's a bit like it's still Anakin's like dialogue is just like he wouldn't be that angry. Like it's kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's. I think this is one of the best Star Wars films ever made.
Yeah.
Character development, good.
I don't think it's as good as like. It's definitely the best prequel. I'd say.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's not as good as Empire Strikes Back.
But
I would still have to argue that it is a Grandmaster film. Especially due to the Mustafar scene.
Yeah, that was like very good. And it was emotional as well.
Yeah.
I think it should be in Council Member.
You think Council Member?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy to put it in Council Member, so long as we place it at the far left of Council Member.
Okay, I would agree with that.
Because that is a top end Council Member film.
But it's the way they've done it. Like it's kind of weird how Anakin's like character in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, to the Clone Wars, to the episode 3. It's kind of, it doesn't quite match. So
yeah, it's not a continual flow, is it?
Yeah, because they kind of made him as this like bratty teen almost.
Yeah. Stroppy child.
Yeah, and he's like, he just wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Oh no, I'd agree with you on that. I'd agree with you on that. Now
but it was
we get on to some truly marvelous pieces of work. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie.
wow. That is an exception. That is not great.
You don't like it?
It's good if it. I think it would have been fine if it was part of the
Series.
Clone Wars, but I just don't think on its own. I just don't think it's that great.
I would say
Like
that
trying to save like a heartling, it's
the story was a bit stretched, I would agree.
Yeah.
However, I think that due to the fact it birthed the Star Wars: The Clone Wars series, and the fact
But-
that
mm,
it showed us an entirely new, like, that hadn't been seen before, like a combat movie sort of thing, you know?
yeah.
That hadn't been seen before, and it explored that.
I just think that because they were originally, you can see in the movie, like they were originally like part of, they were just like episodes, and they kind of just cobbled them together to make a movie, like a feature to like promote it.
A feature-length movie, yeah, I can see that argument.
So I'd have to say it's in Padawan just because it's like, if it was part of the Clone Wars series, I think it'd be great.
You think below episode 2?
Yeah, I just don't think it's that great. I'd put
Okay.
it, maybe I'll put it in night, but just
No,
below.
I'm happy in Padawan for now.
I'll put it in night. No, we'll put it on night because it's okay, but it's not that great.
But we'll put it on the right-hand side of night, yeah?
If you're looking at it just for itself, like just for what it is, it's not.
Standalone, it's not great. I will happy to admit that. Now we get on to, in my opinion, the best piece of Star Wars media ever created. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the series.
Yeah, this is number one.
Yeah, no argument whatsoever. This is Grandmaster Far Left. This is the epitome of what Star Wars could be. I remember growing up on these shows and rewatching them. I've rewatched them in release order and chronological order, and then release order again 3 times.
Yeah.
And every single time my mind is blown.
It's so good, and particularly Disney releasing that final season 7, series 7, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
On Disney Plus, that was just such a good way to like end it as well.
It was a perfect ending, wasn't it?
Show the transition.
And now we can talk about how we've got Bad Batch coming out to further it. Like, it's so successful. It's one of the only things which Disney actually wants to carry on into their little, well, whatever the fuck they're doing over there.
Yeah, they're making bread though. Oh my days. Anyway, we're waffling. We're waffling. We'll just keep to the tier or this chart or whatever you want.
But I think, without a shadow of a doubt, if anyone disagrees with this, like, you haven't watched them properly and appreciated them. Release order next would be
Rebels.
No, Force Awakens.
Really?
I think it was Force Awakens. Let me quickly check.
Should we just do the 2 standalone ones and then do the sequels? 2 standalones.
Yeah, so the 2 standalone films and then do the prequels after.
So RogueOne.
Rebels was first. Rebels was first. You're right.
Was it? All right.
Yeah.
So we'll put Rebels in. I think Rebels is really good. Like, personally.
I think it's okay. I think it's good, but I'm not a massive fan. I'll be honest.
I put it. I just think the storytelling of it. It's basically the storytelling and like the way it flows is far better than Clone Wars did. I mean, Clone Wars sorted it out after maybe season 3, but you can see in Clone Wars like in the first couple of seasons it's very disjointed.
But what you have to remember about the Clone Wars is it's meant to be an episodic series, not a following one character through their adventures sort of thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's kind of like you're kind of jumping from time, like from the past to the future, etc., and it's to the present, and it's kind of a bit disjointed. Like the first episode of season 3 is comes before like episode 5 of season 1 of Rookies with
Yeah, yeah.
Heavy and Fives and Echo, and it
True,
kind of
true.
that's all. Yeah.
So whereabouts
So
would you place Rebels?
I put it in Master,
Okay, yeah, Master I can agree with, but
but
left or
above.
right of episode 1?
I put it above episode 1.
Above. Okay, I can settle for that.
Yeah.
100%. That's it's better than the 2 below it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Rogue One. What do you think? Where do you think Rogue One should go?
So if we're going straight in for where I think it should go, I think it should be council member, and it should be fairly high on the council member list. I
Yeah, I
think
think
it's
it's
a
a good film.
gritty, dark, realistic side of Star Wars. You know, these are normal people, not Force users. You know, they are fighting against a tyrannical empire. They are dying. They are. It's Saving Private Ryan, but in the Star Wars universe. And I think the battle on Scarif, the story building as it gets to that point with Jyn Erso, I think the space battle above Scarif with the gate. I think
And also
that was what Star Wars the sequels could have been.
the best scene in the movie was the Vader kill box at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
That was so good. Now, whether or not, the question is whether you think it's better than Return of the Jedi and A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith, because I don't think it's better than any of those.
I think personally, it's better than A New Hope.
Really?
Yes. Purely due to the fact it shows us a completely different side to Star Wars, live action at least.
I think that A New Hope just because it's such an iconic film. I just think Rogue One just can't be above it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's true. The only argument I have against that is it brings everything we loved about the Clone Wars into the mainstream media for amateur Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I would agree. We'll put it after A New Hope because that is what kicked off everything.
Yeah.
Solo.
Solo.
You first on this one. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah. I think I like it, but I just think it's I mean, it's good, but it's not amazing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's bearable, but it's weak at best.
It's not one of the ones I'd be rewatching if I like had the choice.
Yeah.
So I think it should go either Master or Knight. I'll leave it up to you.
Let's put it at the back end of Master.
Okay.
Next we have the sequels.
Force Awakens, right. This I think goes at the end of Night because it's they could have still done quite a lot with what they started out with, and it was a good start. Because obviously she raves to Luke at the end of the movie, and all the fan theories were going crazy with what he'd say, and obviously, literally Disney threw it away. But so I think it has to go at the end of Night.
Yeah, I can put it at the end of Night because they could have done stuff with it.
Yeah.
Now then, on to what, in my opinion, is the worst piece of Star Wars media ever made. It is Episode 8.
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. I think it was absolutely catastrophic. It changed Star Wars physics, changed what was possible in Star Wars. It added barely anything to an already struggling story. The lightsaber fight against the Knights of Ren, absolutely awful. Absolutely, it was horrible. The amount of mistakes that were made during that fight.
Yeah.
At the end.
Wait, was that the throne room scene?
Throne room scene, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was okay.
Have you seen the video with all
I
the mistakes in it?
I can I can I can live with like little mistakes um like fighting. That's fine.
But they're like
What I
they're bits where
what I
they've
care
edited
about
out weapons because Rey would have died doing a move she was doing.
uh, what I what I care about is um poor the storytelling. If that's not good, what's the point? It
Yeah,
doesn't matter how good
yeah.
the
I
fight
would
scenes
agree
are.
with you there. Like, if there was an excellent story behind it and there was a few mistakes, then I wouldn't care. It's the fact that they said they didn't say it, but they basically made it clear they were focusing more on the CGI than they were on the story, and then managed to fuck that up too.
Yeah, I'd go Padawan.
No,
Really?
instant veto,
Youngling.
youngling, 100%.
Alright. Do
No,
you
no
think it's
shadow of a doubt it can go any
do you
higher
think
than
it's
that.
better or worse than the Rise of Skywalker?
Worse.
Okay, because then Rise of Skywalker, I go Padawan.
Yeah,
The reason I
agreed.
go with that is because the scene where all the Jedi speak, I think that's quite good.
That's
They
badass.
could have they could have made it better, but as always, nothing is perfect. Um,
I quite like the giant space battle as well, where
and I
all the
like
Star
how
Destroyers come out the ground.
yeah, although that the just the reality of that is just
Absurd.
Star Wars as unrealistic as it is, and then you just have like hundreds of ships just appear from the ground,
And then they
like
can't even fly straight up. They need to have a special tower.
yeah, like what the hell is that about? And also the scene where she's got like what it was that little hook looking thing, and it was where she had to find that the what was it, the Sith holocron on the Death
Yeah, on the
Star.
Death Star, and oh,
Yeah,
yeah, no.
yeah,
Don't you think the Alliance would have searched through the wreckage of the Death
yeah,
Star already?
yeah.
Or at
I
least
think
the Empire, who would have known that there was important stuff on there, would have gone back to
um,
look for it, you know?
yeah, I think we'll leave it. There's not much more to be said about that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a truly horrible mashup, but it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one of the most I have to say one of the most like probably different pieces of like Star Wars we've had.
I think it's one of the
I
most
feel like
surprising too. Like I'd never expected that from Disney.
the Mandalorian. Now, obviously, this is very good. This has to be in the top two for sure. Not the top two tiers. Um, I, I would say it's maybe third.
I'm putting it third in Grandmaster
Yeah, after Empire Strikes Back.
after Empire Strikes Back because it is truly revolutionary. Like after all of the, I hate to say it, but cock ups that Disney have made,
Mm.
and then they come and bring us this. Like this is a Star Wars fan's dream. It's the amount of, not just the amount of the story itself and the action it packs into it, but
Yeah,
the world building it does as well. Like
yeah.
post Empire, totally unexplored. And then
All
you've got
the new like planets we've
exactly, you've got the
seen
new
as well.
planets, the new people that he's met, the new creeds and Mandalorian enclaves which we haven't seen in films before.
Yeah,
You've got all the name drops of Legends characters which have been dragged back into the Star Wars canonic
yeah, yeah,
sphere of influence. You know, like Disney came in and they shoved all of that stuff out to the side, like Thrawn and all of that, and then Rebels
yeah.
they bring him in a little bit, but that wasn't true Thrawn. And then Mandalorian, boom, they name drop him, and it was at the perfect time with Ahsoka and
And also
truly a piece of art.
they've explored the Mandalorians like in films in the original trilogy. I mean they only showed Boba Fett. They explored it a bit more in the prequels, and then a bit more in the Clone Wars. They started to explore a lot with in Rebels with Sabine.
Sabine Wren, yeah.
Um, and but this the Mandalorian has shown it's uh,
In my opinion, the
kind
most interesting people in the Star Wars
yeah,
universe are the Mandalorians.
yeah. I think they kind of like represent like all the war, like which is what Star Wars is all about.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's in
fighting.
the name.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. have you got any potential movers that you'd suggest?
Just
I
looking
think
at it,
I think Attack of the Clone should go up to Master, and Solo should go down into that first bit of night.
really? See, looking at it, I was going to suggest something very different. I was going to suggest Solo move to the front of Master.
Really,
Yeah, I
I
really enjoyed Solo.
I I, I cannot say it is better than Rebels.
So how about we leave it
Because
where it is then? If
Thrawn in Rebels is just so good.
because I'm not happy to move it down. You're not happy to move it up.
Yeah,
Leave it where it
I
is.
think we'll leave it where it is.
It's like a halfway point between us both.
Yeah, the meeting middle ground.
Yeah, exactly. We have been going for 30 minutes now, so I think we should stop here.
Yeah. Oh, it's a long video.
So thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to bring you lots more content as much as we can. We don't want to burn out, of course, and leave you with nothing. But it's been really enjoyable for both of us as well. We're still learning, of course, so the editing might be a bit patchy and the commentary might be a bit patchy at the start, but we're getting there. We're working on getting a webcam for myself as well, so I can start streaming on Twitch with of course Joe on the other end, and we'll play video games together and stream them and also upload them to YouTube. We've got lots of great plans coming, guys. We really hope you enjoyed this, and that we hope you stick around with us.
If you have got to the end of the video, then fair play, because this has been quite long, and we've waffled quite a bit.
Yeah, we're expecting 10 to 15 minutes, and we're at 30.
Yeah. Do let us know if you would change anything, because obviously everyone has different views, and we'd like to know whether you think someone else should be, instead of Clone Wars, should be at the top, or instead of The Last Jedi, who should be at the bottom.
Let us know. We're not going to be loads of YouTubers which beg you to like and subscribe and anything like that.
Yeah.
But if you did enjoy it and you do want to see more content, then of course, by all means, the subscribe button is open. We'll bring you quality content as often as we can. But we're not going to be like, oh, please like and subscribe to this video and we'll bring out another one in the next. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We do this because it's fun for us too.
If you didn't like it for some reason, just give us suggestions as what to improve, because that will help us and will help your
Enjoyment.
brighten your day.
Yeah, agreed. So if that's us done, have you anything more to say, or shall I end the recording here?
Wrap it up there.
Wrap up there. Awesome.
Thank you guys, and goodbye.
Thank you very much, guys.